evening. I'm Dr. Tracey Parker and I'm a cancer consultant at Salisbury Hospital.
And I'm Dr. Baird. I'm a paediatric consultant at Salisbury.
And we're very proud to be ambassadors for the Stars Appeal, Salisbury Hospital's charity. And we're joined this evening by 20 clinical and patient ambassadors for the charity, and you can recognise them by their sashes, like the one I'm wearing. So here are the key messages that we would like to share with you this evening. Firstly, thank you. Because thanks to you, over the last year, the Stars Appeal has been able to invest £2 million in making our hospital even better. Amongst you tonight are people who have made generous donations, organised record-breaking fundraising dinners, and trekked to the far reaches of the earth, and even pledged to remember the Stars Appeal and Salisbury Hospital in their wills. To each and every one of you, we say a huge thank you for your life-changing work. So over the next 25 minutes, we're going to be showing you the impact of your support, demonstrate the difference that you're making, and introduce you to some of the people who have bravely agreed to share their stories. But first, a few numbers.
We're so happy to have such an amazing local support for our local charity supporting our hospital, which serves a catchment of over 270,000 patients. We see 75,000 or more inpatients every year and over 250,000 outpatient events. And our job as the Stars Appeal is to enhance care for all the families, patients and NHS staff who care for them. So we want to give you just a few examples of how that support is helping us to do just that. Let's start with surgery. We've recently invested £500,000 in new keyhole surgery operating stacks and a dedicated discharge lounge for the day surgery patients. That gives us a 30% increase in keyhole surgery, reduced waiting times, and people spending less time in hospital. Thanks to your generosity, we've been able to invest in a lot of other equipment too. From the national press, this is the BBC website from April this year. They're reporting that our cardiac investigation unit has a new £140,000 Stars Appeal echocardiogram machine, which has enabled 6,000 local heart patients to receive a quicker diagnosis, helping them get to the treatment they need quicker, whether it be medication or heart surgery.
And thanks to your support, this is our new lung function machine on our respiratory department, which is helping us to diagnose and to monitor lung conditions like cystic fibrosis and asthma. Without this equipment, our patients who have disabling lung conditions would have to face long journeys to other hospitals. But with this state-of-the-art equipment, we can carry out 3,500 lung function tests per year, which means that over 2,000 of our local patients receive their diagnosis and monitoring closer to home. Our charity helps us to do the very best for our cancer patients. On the Pembroke unit, patients undergoing cancer treatment can enjoy luxurious scented massages from our Stars Appeal funded aromatherapist. We've invested in state-of-the-art high-resolution video scopes, enabling our head and neck cancer teams to perform just one diagnostic test for cancer. Previously, diagnosis involved multiple stressful tests and trips into hospital. So we're getting our patients to diagnosis and treatment quicker. And if that weren't enough, these scopes are far more comfortable, greatly easing anxiety for our patients. Our Stars Appeal funded breast unit continues to provide dignified and sensitive care for thousands of patients coming to us for diagnosis or checkups following a breast cancer treatment. This year, we've introduced a bra fitting service and a complimentary chic specialist bra for ladies following a mastectomy. This area was described by one of our breast cancer patients as like a little boutique lingerie shop, which helped me to feel like a woman again.
Within our paediatric, neonatal and maternity service, we've been amazingly lucky to have Stars Appeal support in enhancing all aspects of the care that we give our patients, families and staff. Here's Frankie. I think I've met him again this week and he's just won a gold medal in curling. So, but he's certainly enjoying our child-friendly and environment with all the technology and games equipment. He's also demonstrating that on our paediatric ward, play is very important and our play assistant is funded by the staff. But I'd much rather you hear from Florence, who I'd like to introduce, to talk about her experience.
Hi, I'm Flo and I'm 14 years old, and when I was 8 I was diagnosed with leukemia. At the start of my treatment I was given the beads of courage. Each bead on the string was given to me when I had a chemotherapy, blood transfusion, platelet transfusion, injection, and everything that resulted when I had cancer. I think Stars Appeal are the best charity because I couldn't imagine going through cancer without the support I had. So the Stars Appeal helped me by providing me with a play lady, and the play lady helped me decorate my room at Christmas, Easter. I would use the communal gardens as well, so I could go outside. The Stars Appeal also provided the hospital with multicoloured LED lights, which enhances the room, which makes it a lot more homely and comfortable for children.
She's quite a young lady. Okay, in maternity and neonatal areas, the charity supports the Benson Suite for families who sadly lose a baby at birth, and is supported by a bereavement midwife, this is Steph, which is a post introduced by charity funding. The neonatal unit is one area I'm personally very proud of the support Stars Appeal provides, and we've benefited with the latest equipment, whether it be incubators, video intubating kits, baby x-ray machines, all allowing us to give the best possible care to our premature and critically ill infants, often weighing less than £2 and small enough to fit in the palm of your hands, let alone mine. For the parents and families, we're so grateful to have our parents' accommodation, which Stars Appeal funding has elevated to be the best neonatal unit accommodation in the country. And we can now hear from Francesca about her experience.
Hi, my name is Francesca and this is Margot, my daughter, and Margot was born 8 weeks early. But luckily with the help of the Stars Appeal on the neonatal unit, I was able to stay with her for our whole journey. I think having a premature baby, or the word premature, I was scared that I wasn't going to create that bond with my daughter, that bond that naturally happens when you have your child and they're next to you. But luckily, being able to stay in the suite funded by the Stars Appeal, I was able to stay there throughout Margot's whole journey. Middle of the night, early hours of the morning, at bedtime, lunchtime, and it was able then that my son was able to come and visit, and my husband, and they were able to stay with us. Without that room, I think I would be going home a very broken lady every night.
The Stars Appeal funds so many things across our hospital every year, and often the smaller things, which require ongoing funding, make a real difference. Those of you who were at our soiree last year will remember we spoke about chairs like this, and about how they were all that we could offer those holding a bedside vigil beside a loved one who was sadly dying or critically unwell. But we're really pleased to tell you that we can now do much better. You've helped us to fund 36 of these by-your-side sleeper chairs that convert into beds so that patients and their loved ones can be together at the time that matters most. At this point, we were planning to welcome Jill Wade to the stage. Unfortunately, Jill is unwell, so our colleague, Dr. Susie Lewis, has kindly agreed to come up and share Jill's words.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jill Wade. I live in Salisbury. This is me and my husband Colin. We were married for 56 years. Colin had been ill for some time, and earlier this summer he developed pneumonia and was taken into the hospital. In the last week of my dear Colin's life, I stayed there with him all day and all night. The sleeper chair that Support Like Yours funded made my stay in hospital so much more comfortable. It meant the world to Colin that I could be with him. The last conversation I had with him, he got his hand out from the bedsheets and made a heart sign. I promised Colin I would not leave his side. Having somewhere to sleep enabled me to fulfill my promise to him. He was able to go to sleep holding my hand, knowing I was there with him right to the end. I wanted to be here tonight to thank you and everyone that donates to the Stars Appeal for your support, and to let you know how much difference you are making to local people like me and Colin. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Susie. There are a lot of people here, aren't there? Lord Pembroke, I don't know if you've got a bigger room for next year. There are small things, big difference. There are many other Stars Appeal projects that continue to make a real difference. Our Stars Appeal Wi-Fi that keeps tens of thousands of patients connected with their families and lives outside of hospitals. The charity supports our staff well-being, everything from funding a dedicated staff counsellor to providing over 3,000 Christmas meals. The Stars Appeal beverage trolleys offer quality hot drinks at the bedside, and our chaplaincy service provides emotional and spiritual support to patients of all faiths and I'd like to welcome Fee to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Fiona Smith, though most people just call me Fee. I'm 66 years old, a proud mother of 3 and a very proud grandmother of 5. In October 2023, my life changed completely when I suffered a severe allergic reaction. I was at home. And over the next few days, I drifted in and out of consciousness. My daughter phoned me and couldn't get through, so she sweetly came to see me, but I couldn't form a coherent sentence. Alarmed, she called for an ambulance, and I was rushed to Salisbury General Hospital. For 4 or 5 days, the doctors worked tirelessly, trying to solve the puzzle of what was happening to me. Eventually, they discovered I had encephalitis, an inflammation of the brain, and a rare neurological condition called transverse myelitis, which causes swelling of the spinal cord. I was sent to Southampton General, where I spent 6 weeks in a coma. And when I was finally stable enough, I returned to Salisbury, spending time in the intensive care unit. Those days are a blur. I hallucinated constantly, never considering if I'd get better or what my future would look like. At the time, I was living in a beautiful mill house near Blandford. I had no idea I was about to spend months in hospital fighting for my life. When I finally woke up, I was paralysed from the waist down. At first I thought, I'll just get up and walk again, but that wasn't the reality. My life had changed in an instant, and I had a long, hard road ahead. Once I was strong enough, I was moved first to a general ward and then to the spinal unit, where I spent another 12 weeks. Those months were incredibly tough. I had chronic illness myopathy. In layman's terms, my muscles had disappeared. But I was also full of hope and unexpected joy, thanks to Salisbury Hospital and the Stars Appeal. One of my daily highlights was seeing the smiling Stars Appeal volunteers bringing around their tea trolley. A friendly chat and a cup of hot chocolate may sound small, but in those moments it meant the world. In the spinal unit, I benefited from so many things funded by the Stars Appeal. The chaplain whose visits lifted my spirits, especially over Christmas. The Silver Lounge, a peaceful, comfortably furnished space where I could escape my hospital bed and spend time with friends. The specialist gym with charity-funded equipment, which helped me regain strength and independence. The hospital Wi-Fi, my lifeline to friends and family, and my apologies to any of you who received my discombobulated text. And of course, the MRI and CT scanners that were crucial in monitoring my condition. After 5.5 months, I was finally discharged to live with my daughter and continue my recovery at home. But just 3 weeks later, I developed a dangerous temperature and was readmitted with suspected sepsis. Even then, the Stars Appeal were there for me. Waiting for me on my bedside table was a beautifully wrapped package of toiletries. It made me feel like I was being cared for, not just as a patient, but as a person. And with those little luxuries and the stunning views over the Wiltshire countryside, I always felt like I was in a spa. And yes, the hot chocolate still found me every day. The Stars Appeal provided not only specialist medical equipment, but also comfort, dignity and hope during some of the hardest months of my life. Before my illness, I had no idea how much of Salisbury Hospital's incredible support was funded by this charity, and I've since learned just how deeply they've touched my entire family's life. When my daughter Lucy sadly experienced a miscarriage, she was cared for in the Stars Appeal Benson Suite, a calm, comfortable space where she could breathe in privacy. And when my grandson Ludo had pneumonia last summer, he was treated in the Sarum Children's Ward. He honestly thought he was on holiday. He had toys brought to him by the Stars Appeal play assistant, and my daughter was able to sleep beside him, thanks to one of their pull-down beds. Even in a scary time, they were surrounded by joy and warmth, all because of this charity. The Stars Appeal has been there for me, for my children and for my grandchildren. They've turned hospital stays into something more human, more compassionate and more hopeful. But none of this happens without you. Every cup of hot chocolate and every piece of specialist equipment, every child's smile on the ward, every comforting word from a chaplain is all made possible by the generosity of people like you. So tonight, on behalf of myself, my family, and all the families touched by the Stars Appeal, I want to say the biggest thank you. You have made a life-changing difference for us and for so many others. Please join me in continuing to support this incredible charity so they can continue making Salisbury Hospital a place of care, hope and love. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fee. That was incredible and really touching. Ladies and gentlemen, what you've seen and heard this evening is just a fraction of the work that our charity does within the hospital. Every day, we see the difference that it makes. And as you've heard, all of this is possible thanks to people like you. People who fundraise, people who donate, people who remember us in their wills. Please help us to continue the wide-ranging work that you have heard about this evening and reach our target of funding £2 million worth of ongoing and one-off projects within the hospital this year. Many of you have already done so much, and we stand here with no expectations of you. But be it tonight, next week, next month, or over the years to come, please do continue to support us as generously as you can, and in whatever way you can. We remain forever grateful. And for anyone who might just be kindly considering supporting us this evening, we do have a donation station which is in the cloisters. Our ambassadors will be there and they will be delighted to speak with you. Thank you so much. And now finally, we'd like to hand over to our President and very kind host, Lord Pembroke.
Good evening. On behalf of Lady Pembroke and myself, welcome to our home, Hilton House. We're delighted you can be here this evening. Salisbury Hospital is a vital part of our community. For so many of us, it's bound up with the most important and often the hardest moments of our lives. I cannot stand here tonight without reflecting on the recent passing of one of our star supporters, 9-year-old Lily Eva. She received wonderful care here in this. She received wonderful care in the staring ward, and her courage and spirit touched everyone. She had been so excited about tonight and about wearing her princess dress, which makes her absence especially poignant. We send our deepest condolences to her family, and we hold them in our thoughts. For me, the hospital connection is also personal. In 1978, I was born 6 weeks premature and received life-saving care in the neonatal unit. And without that care, I wouldn't be here today. And like many of you, my family story is tied to the hospital. My 4 children were born there. My father and aunt both received the care during their battles with cancer. Time and again, the hospital has been there for us, as it has been for so many families across Wiltshire and beyond. That's why it means so much to me to serve as president of the Stars Appeal. This evening, we've also heard from patients who have shared their stories with us, and I thank them for their openness and their courage, and for reminding us of the lasting impact of the Stars Appeal. So tonight is not just about enjoying each other's company, but about recognising the importance of a hospital at the heart of our community, and about continuing our support for the Stars Appeal so that others can receive the same life-changing and even life-saving care that my family and I have been fortunate enough to receive. So now I invite you to join me in the cloisters for more drinks and to spend time with the Stars Appeal ambassadors here tonight. But for now, thank you for being here, and thank you so much for your support.